Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk, back again with you guys for another episode of what is the Arsenal News Show, joining you every morning at 8 a.m. UK time. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing well. Thank you as always for making this a part of your morning routines. It is very much appreciated. Hope you've had a good start to your week and are certainly able to kind of put aside the fact that there is no Arsenal this weekend. I can only apologise on behalf of international football for interrupting the momentum of the start of the season, which has obviously led to Arsenal recording 3 wins against Manchester United, Nottingham Forest, and Crystal Palace, and 1 draw against Fulham to suffice the needs of some qualifiers. I'm not particularly happy either, but it is what it is. And sadly, we will have to muddle through this international break, but we're going to do it together. We're going to do it with lots of news regarding Arsenal. We're going to do lots of discussions. There's going to be podcasts. There's going to be collaborations on other shows as well. So make sure you look out for this ugly mug elsewhere, because I'm sure there's going to be plenty of opportunities for that. But thank you to those that will continue to stick with us. And I do encourage you, please, to stick with me over the course of this international break. Continue to make this part of your morning routines. It really does help us out and keep the show going. So thank you to those that do. A quick apology for those that listen on audio platforms, Spotify, iTunes, Google, wherever you happen to get this. Yesterday, there was a delay in the upload of yesterday morning show. It was nothing to do with me. So technically, I'm apologizing on behalf of Acast, who had an issue with their uploading, but it did go up around midday-ish, 1 o'clock-ish. So I hope that you're able to be caught up on everything that we talked about from the game against Manchester United. So apologies for that. Good morning to those joining us live in the chat box. Penny Wayne, good morning to you, to Matt G, to Johnny. We've got A1, Paul, Barry, Jimbo, FPL Cosmos, David, Dave, James, PJ, Rich, Olawale, Mark, Stevie, Morgie, Lars, Red Star, Darren, Stephen, Gunnar Jake, Grantley Poos, Blackshine, Jose, and plenty more of you guys as well. Thank you ever so much, everybody, for tuning in. It is very much appreciated. Let's crack on with today's stories, shall we? We start with Arsenal's game against Brentford in the Carabao Cup. We finally have a date for this game. Arsenal will indeed travel to play at the GTEC Community Stadium on Wednesday, the 27th of September. This means, of course, Arsenal get more than just the 2 days, or more rather than more than just the 1 day that it would have been. Arsenal playing Spurs on the Sunday in the North London derby. They then have 2 days break before taking on Brentford in the Carabao Cup. They then have 2 more days break on Thursday and Friday before taking on Bournemouth in the Premier League away at the Vitality Stadium. That means Arsenal have 3 away games in a row, including their Champions League away match in France in Lens to take on the Liga runners-up from last season. It means Arsenal's fixture schedule is about to get very, very busy. We have Sunday when we return on the 17th of September against Everton, then Wednesday, then Sunday, then Wednesday, then Saturday, then Tuesday, then Sunday, and then the October international break. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in the space of 7 games, in fact, in the space of a very short period of time. It's about to get very real, and Mikel Arteta is going to have to use the majority of his squad to try and overcome any of those challenges. So you're going to see the likes of Leandro Trossard. You should see the likes of Emile Smith-Rowe, Jorginho, Kivior getting the opportunities. David Raya, of course, we should be getting an opportunity to see too. But it's about to get very hectic very quickly as the season fully kicks off after this September international break. In the absence of Antony, who has been excluded from the Brazilian national side based upon recent reports, which you can read all about in your own time, Gabriel Jesus has been called up in his place to the squad. This call took place in the space of the last 24 hours. I spoke to Gabriel Jesus after the game against Manchester United. You can read that interview that I did with him over on football.london if you would very much like to, and I would encourage you to. But one of the questions that he was asked in our presence was whether he'd been called up to the squad, and at that point he said no. So the call from the Brazil national team must have taken place between that game and just after the game against Man United in place of Antony. So, yeah, we wish Gabriel Jesus the best of luck. It might be the opportunity for him to build up some more minutes and get some more game time. Hopefully he can come back injury-free. That will be the obvious hope as he joins with Gabriel Magalhaes and, of course, Gabriel Martinelli as well. Brazil will be playing a game against Bolivia on September 9th. They'll then be playing against Peru on September 13th. So he will be flying out to South America to play those games. Speaking of international duty, to give a roundup, thank you to Arsenal Buzz for collating these. The Arsenal players on international duty are for England, Eddie Nketiah, Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice and Aaron Ramsdale. For Brazil, Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli and Magalhaes. Martin Odegaard will be playing for Norway. Kai Havertz for Germany. William Saliba for France. Jakub Kiwior for Poland. Leandro Trossard for Belgium. Alexander Zinchenko for Ukraine. Takahiro Tomiyasu for Japan. David Raya for Spain. And Karl Hein for Estonia. These are the players that will indeed be away from the club during these weeks, which means that we do have a number of players, of course, that are still at Arsenal and still will be taking part with Mikel Arteta and working on their fitness. All the goalkeepers, however, will be away, which means it might be an opportunity for some of the youth goalkeepers to get an opportunity to play Grashik and the like, potentially, unless he's gone out on loan. Just a quick check on the academy. No, I think he did, yeah. So James Hilson and Ovi Ejeheri, who are still at the club, will be filling in training whilst those senior players are away. But Ben White, Cedric is still at the club, believe it or not. Yes, he is indeed still here. Not only that, but Thomas Partey, of course, who is injured, won't be there. Mohamed El Neni's working on his fitness. Fabio Vieira, unless he's with the under-21s, which I don't actually have a roundup of. Otherwise, he will be there. Who else have we got? Reece Nelson, of course, will still be with the group. And that is it. So not many senior players at all still with the side that'll be working on things. So be interesting to see if Arsenal do a behind closed doors friendly. If there's any plans to do that, we'll try and find out. Edu is said to have agreed, according to Alex Crook of TalkSport, a symbolic fee for Nicolas Pepe. The player, according to Loic Tanzi, is in Paris undergoing a medical ahead of a potential move to Besiktas, where finally they have agreed a deal to see the player move out there. How much this figure is, we're still waiting to find out the details of that. But apparently it is a symbolic fee with Besiktas for the player. So let's wait and see how much it turns out to be. But Arsenal will be, to be honest, probably thrilled that they're able to get something symbolic. I'm hoping that symbolic is like, 70 million. That'd be great. For me, whatever it could be 4, but for me, it symbolizes 70 million on the balance sheet. I think that's how taxes work, right? But yes, Nicolas Pepe will be getting Arsenal a fee, which is very much welcomed indeed. What, however, is not welcomed is the expected absence of Thomas Partey. Samit Mokbel of the Mail reporting yesterday that Partey is expected to be out for at least 6 weeks. And there's an expectation that Partey will hopefully, and emphasis on the word hopefully, be back after the October international break, meaning that he will miss all those games that I went through with you earlier. So Everton, PSV, Spurs, Brentford, Bournemouth, Lens and Manchester City. But there's hope that he might be back after the international break. The first game after the international break is away at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea, followed by an away fixture at the Sanchez Pizjuan to play Sevilla, followed by Sheffield United, Newcastle away, and then the home clash against Sevilla, Burnley, Brentford, Lens home game, and then into December with some more fixtures as well. We haven't got another Big Six side after Chelsea, other than Newcastle, of course, if you count them as the Big Six team these days, until we play Liverpool on Saturday, the 23rd of December, unless that fixture is, of course, changed. So that is all of the latest Arsenal news rounded up for you. We're going to move to part 2 and your questions. Let's wait and see what indeed ends up happening. Oh, we forgot to take a drink. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was just doing a quick check on a tweet that someone said I should check out. Where was the tweet? Where was the comment? Someone said I need to check the Secret Scout. Who was it? Fuad says I need to check Secret Scout. Understand Pepe has received a proposal from Saudi club Al Shabab. Arsenal looking for a fee around £2 million. Representatives are out in Saudi to work and complete a deal. Interesting. So there's some confliction of reports going on at the moment. So Besiktas or Al Shabab, what will it be? We'll have to wait and see. We'll keep you updated with any information dropping on that. I'm certainly going to be doing some digging around that story today. Right, let's jump into the chat box, shall we? Brendan says, Jorginho finished with Italy or just not called up? I guess he's just not been called up to the squad, unless that's been missed. But I'll have a quick check. Yes, he was not called up because of a lack of playing times. Spalletti has confirmed. So there you go. No Scamacca, Moise Kean, Verratti, or Jorginho in the current squad because they weren't called up. I don't know how that will make Jorginho feel about that, but he's not been called up because of a lack of playing time. So there you go. Let's go to Razor. It says, January window. We need a proper partner for Declan Rice. I saw a lot of people in the chat box complaining here. A1 says, I'm tired of Partey's injuries. You're not the only one. In fact, I said and wrote about this yesterday that I do feel that it is time for Arsenal to look toward the future and try to bring in a midfielder that will ultimately replace Thomas Partey for the long term, because these injuries are getting... I mean, they're not getting to a stage where it's unmanageable. It's probably got to a stage where it's pretty unmanageable, because losing out on such a key player in the squad for a large period of the season so unexpectedly but so frequently, it can't be accounted for. And we need to start accounting for it. So, yes, we need to make sure that we get a replacement for Thomas Partey as soon as possible. Ashwin says 2 million. Might as well keep him and use him. Were it so easy, is what I would say. I'd personally just take the 2 million and run. You've got to remember that it's not just 2 million quid. It's around £7 to £8 million that you're actually saving, because you get 2 million from the transfer fee, and then he's on about 120, 140,000 pound per week. So that accounts to about £6 to £7 million, maybe slightly more a year. So you're ultimately saving a lot more money just on wages as well. Just to double check what his wages actually are. It does say £7.2 million a year. That's what he's on. He went up in his contract. I think this contract went up to that figure in 2021. It did indeed. So Arsenal will be getting just under 10 million quid saved in that deal that will see Pepe leave to go away. Did I say Partey? Yeah. So Pepe, him being sold will indeed get us around 10 million saved, including a 2 million fee if it is indeed 2 million. So it's worth doing. People quickly forget the wages associated with these deals. So it's certainly worth doing that one. Jimbo says, Tom, do you like custard? Right. Peeny Ween would like your vote. I have no interest. No interest at all in even discussing this. None whatsoever. Olu says, should have sold Partey. Always insisted on this during the summer. He's very unreliable due to his injuries. And Olu has been with us now as a member for 24 months, believe it or not. So thank you, Olu, for the continued support on the channel. It means the absolute world. And Juno become a brand new member as well. Thank you to Juno for joining us and being part of the TGT family. Very much appreciate your support. If you would like to become a member and be part of our family, join our Discord server and get on the show for our previews, you can find information to that in the link tree down in today's video description. Or if you're on a desktop, you usually have a little join button next to the subscribe feature, which also gives you the information about how to do that. A1 says, who's that guy that plays for Monaco in DM? I'm assuming you're talking about Yusuf, not Fofana, the Chelsea player, but Yusuf. Hold on, is it Yusuf Fofana? It is Yusuf Fofana, right? That is the player I'm talking about. For a minute, I was thinking of Wesley Fofana. Yes, Yusuf Fofana, French international, very exciting player. He's actually 24, still playing for Monaco, despite Nottingham Forest agreeing, well, not agreeing, but very close to 35 million euros. I would love to see Yusuf Fofana be brought in by Arsenal. He is more of a central midfielder than a defensive midfielder. He can play defensive midfield, but he is more of a centre mid than a box-to-box style midfielder. When he came to the Emirates and was at the Emirates Cup, he was the best player on the pitch, without a doubt. Yeah, for me, I'd love to see Yusuf Fofana be a guy that Arsenal targeted. You say that, we think about Partey being a 6, but I think that Declan Rice has really got the potential to be that 6 for the future. And Fofana would be a great option to have in the midfield alongside Declan Rice as an option. So, yes, I would personally go and target him. I think he's a fantastic player. Tim says, if the numbers quoted for Pepe are true, why do you think they are so much lower than what Chelsea managed to squeeze out from the Saudi clubs for their undesirables? A number of reasons, Tim. Pepe's value has dropped significantly. He's not played in the Prem for a long, long time now. He's obviously been on loan to Nice, where he struggled with injuries. And also the team that are going after him, Al Shabab, are not one of the big four. He's not Al Etihad, not Al Etifak, not Al Halal, not Al Nasser. I think there's one other actually as well. But Al Shabab are more of a mid-table Saudi side, so they're not one of those that are being like massively backed by all the money that's being injected into Saudi. The other team is, of course, Besiktas. Again, not a team that you would expect. Al Ali, thank you, Zuntar, the other Saudi side. But yeah, Al Shabab are not one of the big kind of Saudi sides that are looking at investing huge amounts of money into the league. I think they've brought in one or two external players. So yeah, that's reasons as to why, Tim, you're not seeing those figures being associated with Pepe as you did with the players that left Chelsea, for instance. Let's go to Rich says the Saudis want big names since it's all part of branding. Pepe not such a big draw. Very, very true. Christopher says, Tom, think we keep Jorginho next summer and sell Partey in that window? I think so. And I would activate Jorginho's year option. I would keep him for another season. I think he's been a very good servant to the 6 months he's been here at Plus. So I think that, yeah, I would activate Jorginho's option, but I would sell Partey and bring in another player. Mohamed El Neni is expected to be back. I asked the player after the game against Manchester United how, when we could get him back, and he said they're back soon. So the expectation, I think, is around this month that we really should be getting El Neni back into the fold and training with the first team. So let's keep fingers crossed for that. Matt says, next game, would you drop Kai and bring in Smith or Vieira? What would you? I would indeed drop Kai. I would bring Vieira into the side for the Everton game and allow Kai to come off the bench. I think you need to do a level of protection for Kai. Now he's had kind of really down period and he's really getting all the sticks and stones thrown at him. I think bringing him off the bench would be the best way forwards and to try and add something. And, you need a goal, and bringing Havertz on, he can do that, would really raise his profile if we're able to next game. Marcus says, will Partey's injury impact the January window? And do you think we'll buy any then if we are again challenging for the title at that point? It depends, Marcus, because sadly, a lot of the reasons as to why we weren't able to bring at the end of the summer window, they sadly end up bleeding into that January window. FF is still a very big factor regarding restrictions around Arsenal spending. Yes, we hope to be able to move on Pepe, hopefully be able to move on Cedric. But if we were able to move on Partey in January, we're going to do that or not is another question, of course. But if, say, a Saudi came in January in fact, I don't know if the Saudi January window is a thing. Let's have a quick look and see if it is a window that's been in January. Yes. So there you go. That's the winter transfer window for Saudi Arabia. So who knows? Maybe Assad will come back in for Partey during that period. Oh no. Hold on. Are we back? Are we back now? Oh, I just hate it so much. Oh, I hate it so much. I hate it so much. We're on helium today. It's like, all right, so I've got this microphone. Is it the microphone here or is it over here? I need to sort this. This microphone, which I've somehow managed to pull one of the legs off of the tripod now. But this microphone here, right, should theoretically be better than the one I currently use. And it just doesn't do the job at all. So yeah, if I was to change this out and use this microphone instead, which I don't have a connection for nearby, do I? Oh, here we go. So this is the other microphone, which should simply attach like so. And then this one, which I've now got to unplug and put a new one in, should work technically better. Now, if I unplug this, I'm talking you through this because I think you deserve to need to know what's going on behind the scenes. So if we just change it. We change it to this microphone breathing, but it sounds terrible right now. But you should still be able to hear me at this point. Yeah, you can. It's just sounding terrible. And then I can switch. I'm going to delete this for the audio listeners so they don't have to listen to this. Only YouTube gets this pleasure. We'll switch that over, put that cable in there, put this cable in here. We take off this massive here. It's going to work. I can't do anything. Unscrewing it. Unscrewing it. Am I unscrewing it? I feel like I'm screwing it in further. Unscrewing it this way. Right, that's definitely getting tight. Oh my goodness, this is a nightmare. It's all tangled now. Look what I've done. But all my cables. This is like live. Have I unplugged the right thing? Yes, I have. Massively 3-meter long cable at this point, trying to be fixed. Anti-clockwise. Thank you, chat box. Yeah, anti-clockwise. Here we go. I say anti-clockwise, and now it's still not untightening. This is the most ridiculous thing. I'll undo this. Maybe that works. No. Oh, hold on. I feel like we're going the wrong way. We're going to go back the other way, people. We're going to go back this way. See if this works. I think it's working. And 3, 2, 1. It's off. Right, so that microphone's now off. That's step 1 of the process, believe it or not. That only took 75 hours to do. Now we have to take this microphone and plug it in here, hoping that it works desperately. Oh no, first of all, you have to see this little bit here, unscrew this tiny little thing, taking this out. Goodness me, this is horrific. I could have just used the other microphone, but I'm far too stubborn for that. So we're going to talk you through the entire process of making sure we've got another mic. And the problem is with this mic, I mean, I'm proving to you that this is not my fault. That microphone there, £150 is that microphone, the Rode Podcaster one. This microphone, this Apogee microphone, right, is meant to be about, well, £250, about that. And this is like, these are the things that you guys, with your very kind donations that you send in, allow us to get associated with the channel. And it's very frustrating, therefore, when they don't work. So let's try this, right? We've attached that. We're now plugging this one in. This one's plugged in now. Just try and move this up a bit. There we go. Right. Tighten that. Screw that in. Tighten that. Tighten that. Somehow get this attached. Tighten this bit. Right. Okay. Now, let's change the microphone over. Turn the compressor on. It'll be quite loud straight away. Now it's going to drop down, and gradually as it gets used to the sound of my voice, it should drop down, gradually dropping down a little bit more, and then be a little bit more normal like that. There you go. And that's how you change a microphone on TGT. How ridiculous is that, right? That's the whole process of going through changing a microphone. But this, for some reason, wants to make me feel like helium. Goodness gracious me. Goodness gracious me. And you know what's really funny is that I'm probably going to have an issue with this mic, which makes me think that this one's going to be terrible as well. So yeah, goodness gracious me. Okay, right, we're fixed. We're back. Right. I'm hoping now. Does that sound okay, or have we gone all weird again? Let's try that. Oh, dearie me. Anyway, I'm hoping that we sound okay now and that it's not sounding horrific. We're good. Okay. I feel like I need to listen back to what that just was, just so I can even hear it myself. Oh yeah, I'm listening back now. It's terrible. I sound like I'm proper on helium. Yeah. Oh, see, the thing is, like, the sound card apparently has an issue. Chris, I don't know what that is. What is a sound card? I have no idea. No idea what a sound card is. I've updated my drivers. I try it on different platforms like Zoom. It's absolutely fine. That microphone, this one here, is fine. Don't know why I have an issue with it. But this one is a better microphone, but goes all robotic at times as well. I think StreamYard's the issue, personally. I think that's what's creating the big problem. But I'm hoping that Now it starts to sort itself out. It also might be to do with the fact that I'm using like adapters for USB. So like USB going or USB-C to B or whatever it is. I don't know. But yeah, it's probably a software issue. Well, if you've got any suggestions, let us know in the comment section down below. Obviously not in the live chat because these disappear after a certain amount of time. But yeah, there you go. Chris, thank you for the donation. Sounds like a smooth £250 mic. Yeah, it does indeed. Sean says, for your troubles, get yourself a pipe, mate. Thanks, Sean. Much appreciate that. By the time, all these donations, we had to buy an actual microphone that might work. So there you go. But it's not like I'm not investing your very kind donations into trying to make this channel as good as it can be, and then still the technology lets us down. Wayne says, well handled, Tom. You're as calm as Jesus slotting home on Sunday. That was a composed little reverse chop back and finished past the nana, hopefully without any mic issues between now and the end of the show. I'm going to speak to Gabriel, who did our audio for the live event, even though that had some issues. But yeah, he should know more about this stuff than I will. Right. Matt says, who's your favourite player at the moment? Mine's got to be Rice Baby. It's very hard not to like Declan Rice a hell of a lot after the things that he's done as a player for us. So, yeah, Rice is definitely up there. I do like Leandro Trossard a hell of a lot. I do like Emile Smith-Rowe as well, but he's not playing at the moment. But Eddie Nketiah has really grabbed my attention as a player that, I've really written off in the past. I've said, I'm not sure whether or not he's going to make it as a player. So to come back and do what he's doing is fantastic. So, yeah, absolutely. Eddie Nketiah is up there with one of the best. Jimbo says, Gooner Talk bloopers video maybe. Yeah, we need to do like a thing where we just do all of the crazy cutouts of the crazy mic issues. So there you go. I know that you guys like the high pitch sound, but it's just not a good look. It's really not a good look, especially when I'm talking about really serious things as well. Derek says, Tom, did you see Fab's tweets about OSV? Anything in that? He was at the game on Sunday. Let me have a quick look at Fab's Twitter, and then I'll be able to have a check on what you're talking about. Who is OSV? Not seeing anything. You have to let me know. Who is OSV? I know it's someone really obvious that I've completely gone a mind blank on, but I don't know who OSV is. So, yeah, no, sorry. Does Jesus start against Everton, says Boss? I don't know. It's a really good question. It's a really, really good question about who starts for us on that game against Everton, because Eddie could start, Jesus could start, lots of players could start in that position, and it's one of those two. So yeah, maybe we'll see what ends up happening in that striker position, and it'll be a surprise to us. But yeah, very, very interesting. PSV, maybe he meant PSV, maybe he meant Osimhen. Yeah, I don't know. Osimhen, Victor Osimhen was the tweet. Okay, was there a tweet from Fabio about Victor Osimhen? One thing I did see is that Sergio Ramos going back to Sevilla means that he's going to be playing at the Emirates. So we'll see Sergio Ramos at the Emirates next season, which is going to be exciting. Look forward to that, seeing him in the mix zone maybe. I'm definitely excited for that. That's going to be a very, very exciting time to see Sergio Ramos playing against Arsenal. Stephen says, as Arteta referenced in his press conferences, we've seen players flourish when the fans support them. I, for one, would be extremely proud of our fan base if they really got behind Havertz. Yeah, me too. And at the end of the day, you're not going to convince everybody to be able to do that, Stephen. And I think it's a valiant effort that you're giving there. And I certainly try my hardest to try to convince people that it's not the right way to go down the path of battering and killing a player, as so many people have done. But yeah, it's very, very difficult to justify. It's very difficult to justify the idea that you would want to even bash a player so much that you're, inciting violence or inciting hate towards somebody as others have. And it's a shame that people are like that. But, sadly, that is the state of affairs that we find ourselves in. I know that the majority of you guys are brilliant and aren't abusive towards players. But you're not going to be able to convince everyone, which is the sad situation we find ourselves in with Havertz, unfortunately. Jason says, how many goals would you expect from Eddie and Gabriel Jesus in all comps? From them both, how many goals? I think that both of them should be targeting at least 30 between them, maybe potentially closer to 40. That'd be great. If they could both get 40 goals, you've got two strikers on 20 goals. That'd be great. But I think 30 is a good baseline target between the two. Jesus got, I think, 11 or 12 last season, and Nketiah got 5 or so. So, you know, we didn't get close to 20. Jesus was out for a long period of time, and Eddie wasn't starting as many games as he is now. So maybe we aim for 30. Yeah, let's try and get 30 for sure. Dave says, I will be supportive of Kai, but I do want him out of the firing line for now. And I don't blame you for that, Dave. I have no issue with that whatsoever. I think we should move him out of the firing line. I think he should move to the bench and bring him off the bench and build up that confidence. Derek says, free agent from PSV. Sorry, mate, typo. Fab tweeted that he was there. Is it El Ghazi? Is it El Ghazi? It might be El Ghazi. I'm not sure he's the right fit for Arsenal, really. But apparently he was at Arsenal this weekend. So, I've just seen the picture. El Ghazi, available as a free agent after terminating his contract at PSV. One Premier League club approached him. Same for the Saudi clubs. There are several possibilities. El Ghazi will decide soon. He was at the Emirates Stadium with his camp yesterday. I'm not sure that that's anything to do with us. You can't rule it out 100%, but yeah, El Ghazi, I'm not sure that he's the right guy for Arsenal to sign on a free transfer. I don't even know if we can sign him as a free. I don't know if that kind of it goes beyond the realms of what we can do, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Lloyd says, is there an argument for Kai for giving Kai one last start, quite a poor Everton side, to build up his confidence? Maybe. You know, Fulham are tough sides. Man United, obviously, a tougher test as well. But yeah, there is an argument there, Lloyd. But ultimately, there is something to be said that if he fails that test, where do you go from there? You know, it's really hard to come back from that one. So, yeah, Mike's going again. Right. We're going to wrap things up there. Yeah, we're going to wrap things up there, and I'm going to spend a few hours today trying to sort out this, probably getting new cables, new inserts and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Apologies for the chaotic audio issues today. Hopefully we can get it sorted very, very soon. But it's very, very frustrating, as you can imagine. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy yourselves with whatever you happen to be doing today. And I hope it's a lot better than the reliability of these microphones. Anyway, thank you guys. Enjoy yourselves and stay safe, stay well. And as always, up the Arsenal.